Example 4, we are continuing our work with modeling division of fractions. Let's go ahead and label 2/3. 2/3 is the dividend, and the 1/6 is the divisor, or the number that we're dividing by. I already typed the questions. How many times does 1/6 go into 2/3? Or you could say, how many groups of size 1/6 fit into this 2/3? So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to go over to our app, this fraction bar model, and I already went ahead and I wrote the dividend here, so 2/3 is at the top, and then I put the divisor below it, and we're trying to see how many 1/6 fit into 2/3. Now the problem with this is that we have different size pieces that we're comparing. This is a tinier piece than 1/3. So what we need to do is we need common denominators. We need the same size pieces. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this scribble tool, and I'm going to take this 2/3 and I'm going to write it vertically. And I will take the 1/6 and I'll write it vertically. And then we need to figure out the least common multiple, which would be the same thing here as finding the least common denominator. And to find the least common multiple or the least common denominator, all we do is we record the multiples of 3. So 3, 6, 9, etc. And then we record the multiples of 6. So 6, 12, 18. I'm not going to go very far with this because I already see that the multiple that 3 and 6 have in common, the least common multiple, the smallest multiple they have in common is a 6. So we can actually use 6 as our denominator. Now the nice thing about this is that you can see that 1/6 already has the proper denominator. So we don't need to change the 1/6. The 1/6 can stay as it is. So I'm going to go ahead and record 1/6 that can stay as is. And I'll bring down the division sign as well. The fraction that's going to change is the 2/3. We need to create an equivalent fraction that has a denominator of 6. So now you need to ask yourself, let me switch colors for this, 3 multiplied by what gives you 6? Well, 1, 2 3s is equal to 6. So 3 times 2 gives us 6. Whatever you multiplied the denominator by, you need to multiply the numerator by. So if we multiplied the 3 times 2, the denominator by 2, we need to multiply the numerator by 2 to create an equivalent fraction. So 2/3 is equivalent to 4/6. And so what we can do is we can take this 2/3 and actually replace it with 4/6. And now that we have two fractions with the same denominator, we can more easily make our comparison and think about how many 1/6 fit inside of 4/6. So let me go back to the fraction strips, and instead of 2/3, now I'm going to record 4/6 for my dividend. So I'm going to record 1/6, 2/6, 3/6, 4/6, and this is another good way to check your work because 2/3 is supposed to be equivalent to 4/6, and look, they go out the same distance, so they are the same length. So yes, 2/3 is equal to 4/6. Now I didn't need to change this 1/6, so I'll go ahead and place that underneath. And now we're going to think about how many 1/6 fit inside of 4/6. And for this part, I'm going to go ahead and just screenshot this section at the bottom. And then I'll go back and I'm going to go ahead and check my device for this screenshot. I'm going to add this image, and then I'll click the select tool and I can move it around and make it larger if I wish. I don't really need this work anymore, so I'm going to just cover it up. And now I'm going to grab a rectangle, make this a little bit thicker so you can see it better. And then I'm going to think about how many 1/6 are in 4/6. Well, I hope you can see that there are 1, 2, 3, 4, 1/6 inside of 4/6. So the answer to this is 4, because there are 4 of these 1/6 inside of 2/3.